Hello, I am Adrián Sáenz, and in this video I will be summarizing the Chapter 4, Ecosystems and Community Interactions from our book. In this chapter, we will see what is interdependence in nature, as also we are going to know what are the effects of biotic and abiotic factors in the ecosystems. The chapter is divided into 4 sections related to climate, niches, biomes, and aquatic ecosystems. Now, let's begin. Section 4.1 Climate. Weather and climate are similar in the fact that they explain the atmospheric conditions of Earth, but their difference is that the weather describes the spontaneous changes and the climate describes the year-to-year conditions in a particular region. It is rare that a region has a uniform climate, as the conditions tend to vary over small distances. This phenomenon is known as microclimates. The global climate is shaped by many factors. The most common of them are the solar energy trapped in the biosphere, the latitude, and the transport of heat by winds and ocean currents. The major influence in the global climate is the sunlight that the Earth receives. Some of this sunlight is absorbed by the Earth's surface, some of it is irradiated back to the space, and some of it is trapped in the atmosphere by gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor in an effect known as greenhouse effect. Other factor influencing the global climate is the latitude, which determines the distribution of solar light through the Earth's surface. This happens because the Earth's tilted axis makes it that different regions receive the sunlight at different angles. Section 4.2 Niches and Community Interactions. Each species has its own range of environmental conditions on which it is able to survive and reproduce. This range of conditions is known as tolerance. If a species is stressed on a particular condition beyond the limits of its tolerance, then the species will migrate or will eventually die out. The habitat of a species tells only where does the species live, while the niche of a species tells all the interactions that this organism may have with biotic and abiotic factors in the environment. The different interactions given in a community are competition, which consists on 2 or more organisms fighting over the same resource, because, as stated in the competitive exclusion principle, no 2 species can occupy the same niche at the same time in the same habitat. Predation. This interaction happens when an animal captures and eats another animal. It can influence greatly on the population of the prey animal. Herbivory. In this interaction, an animal feeds on a producer, which is usually a plant, affecting its population and distribution. And finally, we have the symbiosis, which are relationships in which 2 organisms live closely together. These are classified as mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. Section 4.4 Biomes. Because of the different regional climates, the Earth's terrestrial ecosystems have been classified into 10 different groups called biomes. The different biomes that we have are the tropical rainforest, which surprisingly has more species than all the other biomes combined, the tropical dry forest, where many animals enter estivation, which is a long period of inactivity in order to survive the dry seasons. We also have the tropical grassland, the desert, the temperate grassland, and the temperate woodland. The temperate forest is a biome that contains both deciduous and coniferous trees. The main difference between them is that deciduous trees shed their leaves seasonally, while the coniferous trees maintain their leaves during the whole year. The other biomes left are the northwestern coniferous forest, the boreal forest, also known as taiga, and the tundra. There are some other ecosystems, such as mountain ranges and polar ice caps, that are not classified as biomes, as their conditions vary too much for establishing a typical community. Section 4.5 Aquatic Ecosystems. The aquatic organisms are affected by many conditions, like the water depth, temperature, flow, and the amount of nutrients present in the water. These conditions can determine the species that can live at certain areas. Although only 3% of the Earth's water is classified as freshwater, there are many types of freshwater ecosystems, which are divided into rivers and streams, lakes and ponds, and freshwater wetlands. I personally think that from these ecosystems, the most important ones are the wetlands, as they offer the functions of purifying the water by filtering pollutants and preventing floods by absorbing large amounts of water. On the other side, we also have marine ecosystems, which are usually classified by ecologists based on their distance from the shore and on the depth of their waters. The main zones of the marine ecosystems are the intertidal zone, the coastal zone, and the open ocean. The open ocean is divided into the photic zone, which has sunlight and photosynthesis, and the aphotic zone, where there is absolute darkness and no photosynthesis. As there is no photosynthesis in the aphotic zone, the main sources of energy are the chemosynthetic organisms, which are supported by the deep sea vents. Well, that was all I have to say about the topic. If you paid attention to the video, you should be able to answer the following questions. Also, I have to say, thank you for being with me during this semester. You are the best.